when babies come, I want to provide a safe place for them. And you like, you're on your own, buddy.
No, listen, this is not an issue of the baby having a safe place to exist. This is an issue of it being in my house.
That's again, I look back to what would Jesus do?
I can't accept the fact that my belief in Christ necessitates me living with a stranger's baby. I don't accept that. Welcome back to Macrodosing, and today the show is brought to you by Mad Dog 2020, from the creators of the legendary MD 2020, the original name in high-flavor, high-alcohol beverages with those unmistakable vibrant colors and iconic flask bottles. Mad Dog by MD 2020 brings the party with 15% ABV in a portable can that tastes incredible, delicious flavor that doesn't sacrifice on drinkability. We've got them right here. Nice little clear can. You see the blue Raz in there. 4 intense flavors: Bling Bling Blue Raz, Mad Margarita, Spiked Strawberry, and Whipped Orange Cream. Sweet, bold, and ready to drink. Pop the top and dive into vibrant, eye-catching colors that deliver on taste. Each sip is as delicious as it looks. No mixing, no mess, just pure flavor. High-quality taste without the premium price tag. Mad Dog by MD 2020 gives you more bang for your buck than anything else on the shelf. MD 2020 just got more convenient. Grab a Mad Dog by MD 2020 and experience why we've been fueling good times for generations. Look for Mad Dog by MD 2020 in your local stores and at drinkmd2020.com now. Must be 21 or over to purchase.
Hey, yo, I was listening to the podcast intro, that beat.
Mm-hmm.
When's the last time you listened to that, Big T?
Never.
You never listened to it?
I don't listen to myself.
Just the intro.
I mean, I'm here when we record it. I don't need to listen to it again.
I just,
Anyway, what was your point?
It's just a good fucking beat, man. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it is.
Great intro, man.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all don't. Now I feel like you should hear it.
Bow.
All right, play it.
I have it.
You got it? Run it one time for Big T, and for the listeners, you heard it on the intro, but Big T don't get to hear it that much,
Oh, I've heard this. Yeah, it's great stuff.
Yeah, it's just good, man. You gotta appreciation. Gotta show appreciation. It's a new day. Welcome back to Macrodosing. Sorry you had to hear that song twice. I just wanted Big T to feel what I feel, when I'm creating. Feels good. How you doing, Big T?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm feeling great, man. I walked in my house today. Excuse me. I was a caddy today. A caddy for my boy. And when I'll tell you about that in a second. But when I walked in my house, my cleaning lady was cleaning, and she said, Arian. She has an accent. She said, Arian. He said, "Es muy flaco." I said, what are you talking about? She said, "You look skinny." I said, "What? You feeling good?" You know what I'm saying? She telling me, it's working. What I'm doing is working. So I appreciate. Shout out to my cleaning lady, Mida. That's my dog. But yeah, I caddied today. So that's why I was gonna push the pod back a little bit, was because my man's is playing in the US Open qualifier. So like if he plays well enough, you can qualify to like a few events and you can eventually play your way into the US Open. He had a rough number 9, so I don't think he's gonna make it. But he's really good. And I told him I wanted a caddy for him. I wanted to get that experience. That's actually kind of fun. Caddying is pretty fun. Had a good time. But yeah, we back, man.
What time did he tee off if you were home by like 11:30?
Well, that's the thing. So I was going to do the whole thing, but how I calculated was, okay, it's only 3 per group, and these cats can actually play, so it's gonna go fast, right? It's gonna be a fast, so I should be done in like 3 hours. So I was gonna push it back and I was gonna come back like 1. No, so well, boy, was I wrong. They take their time on their shots. So it was like 2.5 hours, and we were only done with 9. I told him I'm gonna shake out because by this time we ain't gonna be done until like 2:30, 3.
Did he have a caddy for the back 9?
No.
You just left him?
Oh, you just left him?
Well, no, what we discussed. He's like, hey, if you got anything to do a little later on, you can go ahead and shake. Because like most of those guys don't have caddies. Like they carry their own bags. It's like a luxury to have a caddy because usually you got to pay for that kind of stuff. Like you got to pay for a caddy shit. But I told him I just do it because it was fun, and I took it very serious. I was wiping his ball, paws. And I was doing caddy shit, and it was actually pretty fun. I told him I was like, if you ever really like make this shit, I would love to caddy on tour. Like if anybody needs a caddy. If you need somebody on your bag, I will absolutely do that because it's actually fun. But no,
but they have to know, like, they have to be super, like, knowledgeable.
You have to be.
Not that you're not. I'm just saying, like, they.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Shit, I don't know what you're saying now. Expound, my brother.
Like they have yardage books from years and years that are so detailed and precise that, like,
you can laser. It's not that deep. You can laser.
Can they do that on the tour?
You can. Yeah, you can. You can laser, but you can't use slope. So you can't use the laser with the slope on it.
Oh, someone just got in trouble for that.
With the slope?
Yeah. Who was it?
I don't know. I'm not that deep in it, but
I just saw somebody got in trouble for that. But
yeah, they have to be knowledgeable about the rules. You have to know the greens really well. So you have to be able to read putts. And I was telling him, I was like, because he's way better than I am, right? So he shoots in the 60s. Like I've seen him shoot at 64 before. Like he's insane. And so like I told him he was like, I want you to read the putts for me. He said, because my putting has been insane. I play with him a lot, so my putting has been really good lately. Matter of fact, I convinced him to get a lab putter. He bought a lab putter because I was rolling them in. And there was like 3 or 4 holes where he didn't really listen to me. But I was like, hey, this is your shit. I was like, I'm just telling you what I see. And it did what I initially had thought it was going to do. So I was like, maybe just trust your caddy, man, you know? But it was really cool experience seeing how golf is like supposed to be played. Like, cause those dudes are like really good. So like seeing it from that vantage point, like I always see him play, but like seeing a whole group being able to play well and stuff like that, it was really dope, man. So good experience, fun times, but definitely had to cut out on him after 9 because that shit would have took forever.
Well, so he's probably still playing right now.
1,000% still out there. Absolutely.
I hope he's playing well without a caddy.
Yeah, me too. I mean, he was 2 over until the last hole. He got a 9 on there. He got a 9 on there. It was bad. It was
been
bad.
there.
Yeah, I mean, I stay there. So
yeah, it's most of mine.
One or two of those around, man. That happens. But anywho, man, beautiful day. How's everybody feeling, man? I'm feeling really good. The coffee's flowing. My mom's is in town. She just cooked me a breakfast. I'm feeling great, man. Walking on sunshine, as they say. I see your Braves. They didn't beat the Dodgers, huh? I had to give you a little bit of
only 1 out of 3. We should have won on Friday. I was there on Friday. I sent you a picture of your guy, Ta-Nehisi Coates. I was in my seat like 30 minutes before the game started, and Shohei leads off for them. So I cannot wait for the first batter of the game because I had my phone ready to go.
All-time blunder. Yeah. If you're a Macrodosing fan, like you got that's his name now. That's what you got to call him. But we did the same. We got our ass smoked by the Cubs. We got one out of 3. Though. Yeah, we got 1 out of 3. And the Cubs was in the running for my top 5 when I was picking a team. So I'm getting an earful from these Cubs fans on Twitter. So it's what it is. I'm riding though. I'm riding.
Believe they have the highest odds to win the World Series right now.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in our division too, so that's a motherfucker.
Yeah, like 17% or something.
Which
is good because in the time I've lived here, they haven't been very good.
Yeah, so we got to catch a game or 2.
Oh yeah, I've been to 1 this year.
I'm in there, man. Maddie, how's y'all's weekend?
Good, fun.
Do you know anything that was this weekend relating to the podcast? Or
are you talking to me?
No, Arian.
Should I?
There were 2 things. It's crazy because you're the one that's into this more, that like you care more than I do.
Well, yeah, laze me, dog.
There's 2 people's birthday.
Whose birthday?
Me and Big T.
Oh shit! It's y'all's birthday?
Yeah.
I
think y'all were talking about it. In the
group chat. Yeah, okay. That was this weekend. You invited.
I invited PFT to the bar.
Yeah, you invited little man to the to the place. Yeah,
Who we
okay.
should mention
gone.
is not here today because
Oh
he's
yeah.
at the Bet Gala in Arizona.
Yes.
Yeah. He got some shit to do.
But yes, I invited him. I threw it in the group chat. I didn't mean it for it to be like a phishing scam for like happy birthdays. But Mackenzie and I were out. Big T would have been there invited as well if he was here this weekend, obviously.
You know, it didn't even register. Like I saw the text and I was like, huh. My first thought was like, I wonder if he's gonna go.
But yeah,
Yeah. Well, shit. How old are you now?
I'm 26.
26.
Yeah.
Youngin.
Sorry.
Oh, this is great years. Y'all are still babies, man.
Big T, I don't think is revealing his age.
I'm 28.
Damn, I done seen you grow up. I think when I first met you was what, like 23, 24?
I guess 24. Yeah.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Or wait.
You started in February of 20.
I would have been 23
Yeah.
because I hadn't turned 24 yet.
That's so weird.
That is pretty crazy.
Yeah. And I was
In front of
22.
my eyes. You went from baby face Big T, you got a full beard.
Yeah, that should have happened long before that, but
That's true. That is a weird time when you had you just had nothing on your face, though.
yeah, I can't. I hate it. It just took me so long to ever get past to get it to here. It took me probably 4 months.
Really?
So,
4 months?
yeah, that's why I never grew one because it would get to like a stage where it would just look so shitty and like I couldn't, and I just would always shave it off.
Yeah, that's a weird time. You look so weird with that.
Yeah,
I see it every now and then. It pops up on my feed, and it's just like, what is looking at me? But shout out to you though. It came in nice.
thanks.
You want to get like a big John, or are you cool with that?
No. I would never do that.
Keep it nice and tame.
Yeah, if it ever gets, yeah, I don't like it very long, but
I've played with big ones before.
like how long?
This section right here. It's gotten good like 4 or 5 inches.
Really?
Yeah, it's gotten pretty long before. My mom hates it though, so I was rebelling. All right, man. Let's hit your list up, man. What you got for us today, Big T?
First story. One that we discussed fairly recently. Big Don wants to reopen Alcatraz. Let's get the Rock back, baby.
I mean, I missed it. I saw it on Twitter a little bit this morning, but I didn't really dig into it. What is his like he needs it, but what is his reasoning? What do we need this up?
I don't really know. I think maybe he just, to him, that's the epitome of what a prison should be. I really don't know. He tweeted yesterday, this morning actually, on Monday. Rebuild and open Alcatraz. For too long, America has been plagued by vicious, violent, and repeat criminal offenders, the dregs of society who will never contribute anything other than misery and suffering. When we were a more serious nation in times past, we did not hesitate to lock up the most dangerous criminals and keep them far away from anyone they could harm. That's the way it's supposed to be. No longer will we tolerate these serial offenders who spread filth, bloodshed, and mayhem in our streets. That is why today I'm directing the Bureau of Prisons, together with the DOJ, FBI, and Homeland Security, to reopen a substantially enlarged and rebuilt Alcatraz to house America's most ruthless and violent offenders.
1,000% this is not happening.
I don't even think it could if anyone really wanted it to. Would it not be like if he was like, we need to build a prison that's similar to Alcatraz, like we need to build another what's the one in Colorado, the Supermax?
Oh, ADX Florence.
Yeah, Florence. Like we need to build another Florence. Like, okay, like fine, what if that's, but it would probably cost more money to try to retrofit Alcatraz. Also, it holds like 200 people or something.
Yeah, it's like not that many prisoners. It's pure optics, but also like the time it would take. I mean, think about like the plumbing, and it's rusted. It's a busted ass place. So it's like everything, the water lines, that shit would take so long to rebuild. 1,000% this is not happening.
Someone did point out that the movie Escape from Alcatraz is on Netflix right now, and that he may have just seen that, and that led him to this conclusion. I don't know. I didn't check that.
I love how he
Um,
says when we were a more serious country and like the White House is tweeting out like AI slop images of him holding a lightsaber and shit. Like,
yeah, that was
Did
good.
you see his one today of quote tweeting his old
Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo tweet?
Yeah.
Oh, it's the ninth anniversary. One of my I meant to put that on the sheet actually. I didn't. It's one of my top 10 tweets of all time. I wanted to see if we could compile a list.
now let me see what is. Let me go to his Twitter page.
It's a picture of him holding a taco bowl. This was during the 2016 campaign. And
I
it says,
remember
"Happy
this.
Cinco de Mayo. Trump Tower makes the best taco bowls. I love Hispanics."
This was so wonderful 9 years ago today. He tweets
It's
that this was so
crazy to quote
wonderful.
tweet that.
What is wrong with this dude? Oh my God, dog. It's just hilarious. Back when we were a more serious country. The whoever's running his Twitter, is he still with this True Social shit? Is he still hanging on to
Yeah.
this?
Yeah, he's trying to still make it a thing. I think he goes back and forth. He'll do 2 or 3 on Truth, and then he puts one tweet out.
What's the user rate at True Social? Can we get a fact check on that?
I don't know if they'd put that out there. As of January 2025, there's an estimated 6.3 million monthly active users, which is not bad.
That's nice. That's pretty good. I mean, you have the president of the United States tweeting from it constantly.
How
People
many
don't.
does Twitter have these days? Or
I tell,
X?
I tell you what,
600
is-
monthly, 600 million monthly users.
that's wow.
It's more than I would have thought.
Yeah, that's more than I thought too. Yeah, shout out to Elon. I tell you what though, Grok is impressive. Grok is pretty impressive, man.
Have you seen he's going woke?
I believe that's just what happens when you research things. But I hear
But he said that Twitter tried to make him conservative, and he's rebelling.
that's how you read that.
No, did you
No,
not see that?
I saw the thread, and the thread pointed out how it's the initial engineers were trying to make him lean towards conservative values, and he said that it conflicted with his uh like baseline of wanting facts over ideology. So
Correct.
so woke just means accurate.
Well, no, it means he's going again. You know what I was saying.
I think that's what you're indirectly implying. And what
No.
because like Grok was made by Elon and his team to fact check things, and it's doing what it was designed to do. And conservatives are now saying, "Oh, it's a conspiracy. It's leaning
That's
left."
not what I was saying at all.
What are you saying?
I was making a joke about that thing that it said. I was
Hmm.
not implying
Uh,
any
I have-
sort of.
I have been following that though. You know, I mean, isn't that interesting that the original engineers wanted it to lean conservative on a platform that is supposed to be unbiased?
Sure. Do you not think that everything Twitter was doing prior to a couple years ago was trained to lean the other way?
I think that this would be apples and oranges. So
How so?
if the owners of a platform have a certain ideology, then the rules and the TOS are going to skew that way. So shit like hate speech, that's going to be kind of a subjective view, right? If you are designing an AI to interact with your user face, I would think that you would want that to be as unbiased as possible, like truly, because as the conservatives like to point it out, this is the new town square, right? So I would want a rational baseline to start from, but to skew it in a way that leans conservative, I think is different than having like rules set that are yeah, there would be like a subjective or a curated way. Like, okay, like if I view something as hate speech, but you don't really see it that way, it would lean more towards my ideology. That would make sense contingent on who owns and operates the platform. But if you're making an unbiased uh, facet, something like an I would think you would want that to honestly, that would be a good litmus test to have, like, fact check your own ideology. Like
But it
how
seems like they did that though, because I'm referring to it as a person. The software has done that.
no, it rejected that.
Right. So it's doing what you're describing.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
I assume, I don't know this for a fact. I'm not a computer engineer. I assume there would have been a way to program it to not even be allowed for that to be an opportunity.
so like you're saying, if I wanted it to lean right, I would have programmed it to lean right.
Yes.
But see, and that would be tricky because to me, it would always tell on itself. I mean, like it did, like it would always say because I have a couple buddies who are software engineers, and they're telling me like AI is really good. They like Grok and they like ChatGPT. It's like, but the thing is, it's about how you ask it the questions. Like the more detailed and intricate you ask the questions, the better answer you'll get. And so if you have people that understand that, eventually it can whittle down to and get down to the reasoning, like the logic, right? How did you get to this conclusion? And it would end up telling on itself because if I have a set of data, I would have to go by that. And if I'm telling a narrative that is different than the data, I would have to explain the reason as to why. And then the reason as to why would lend itself to, well, the creators told me to skew or bend or favor this rather than just saying what the data say. Does that make sense?
Sure.
And so, but I'm like, as a somebody who I like the way I think to mirror reality as much as possible, right? Everybody I think should and feel the same way. And so like I said, it's a good litmus test to say, okay, if how I feel mirrors reality, then this AI that has massive amounts of access to all this information, it should equal up. But it doesn't look like it's doing so.
You mentioned ChatGPT. I asked ChatGPT this morning to give me some stories in the news that it thinks would be good discussions on macrodosing, and it gave me some. And then it said, "Would you like a breakdown of the?" Excuse me. Yeah. Would you like a breakdown of the types of topics each host tends to bring to the table? I said,
Oh
sure.
yeah, I like this. Yeah.
It said, "Here's a breakdown of the macrodosing crew and types of topics each host tends to focus on or contribute to. PFT commenter, role, lead host, comic relief, and provocateur. Typical contributions, add satire and absurdity to serious conversations, known for wild hypotheticals and conspiracy theory enthusiasm, often pokes fun at everyone equally but can land thoughtful takes. Topic strengths, media, government, internet culture, NFL.
Okay.
Arian, role philosopher athlete and the show's deep thinker.
Okay, chat.
Typical contributions brings a highly introspective, rational, and often skeptical view. Tends to push back on pseudoscience or ungrounded conspiracies. Interested in metaphysics, simulation theory, and social structures.
Yes.
Topic strengths, philosophy, consciousness, social justice, and science.
I fuck with ChatGPT.
And then Big T, role the conservative voice and regular debater. Typical contributions, pushes back on progressive or liberal takes with sharp retorts, defends traditional views but also challenges government overreach, often argues facts and logic over emotional takes. That's 100% correct. Topic strengths, U.S. politics, history, media narratives, and legal systems.
I see you with your expertise in legal systems.
Yeah, no, I wanted to go to law school for a long time. And then it has Madeline on here. Role humanizes discussions with personal stories and humor, adds relatable commentary, and asks clarifying questions. Topic strengths, pop culture, social dynamics, lifestyle topics.
That's so weird that they know.
Mackenzie, it did not know about you, unfortunately. It said something about some guy named Coleman.
Coley?
Coleman.
But like,
that's
Coleman?
where it came from. Good call.
Damn, shout out to Coleman.
I was like, we've never known anyone named Coleman.
They need to update their.
Yeah.
What did it
and
say
then it
about
also
Coleman?
had Avery.
Oh, wow.
It said Coleman provides historical background and data for discussion topics, tries to keep everyone grounded, parentheses, with varying success, usually brings a balanced to neutral tone.
Damn. Shout out to Coleman, aka Coley, man.
I think Coley's the reason this show ended up being so long. I think he did not try to keep everyone grounded.
I can't even remember how that shit popped off. Because
Because
originally
his
the show was
shows
supposed
were
to be,
always 3.5 hours.
yeah. Originally it was supposed to be one episode per week. How did we get to two?
We started an initiative that was one of the guys who was here in the audio department was like, we want podcasts to put out like a couple of 5 to 10 minute like mini episodes, basically, so that people who don't listen to the show can listen to that and be like, oh, maybe that's something I'm interested in. And then we ended up being the only ones that like kept it, and we just made them another episode, basically. Like even our ones that were supposed to be 10 minutes were 40, and then we just kept it forever.
It's good synergy. Once we start talking, we can't stop. Love you guys. Love you guys that much, man. Shout out to ChatGPT. What a great fucking.
I didn't think it would know that much.
That's interesting because how does it it couldn't consume the audio, right? It has to go off of like comments or the way it's described as written in, I don't know, some other media that's saying Arian has a podcast or PFT has a podcast. It has to be something like that. There's no way it consumed that much amount of audio that fast, or maybe it did. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure, because if you just ask it something about like current events or whatever, it gives you the sources that it looks at. But for this, there's not an option to
Ask
see
it.
that.
How did you concoct the synopsis that you did? Did you consume the audio or the written pieces about the podcast?
All right, hang on one second.
That was a lot to type. You're right. Yeah, and concocted is probably a word that it didn't need to be there. We could have chosen another one.
All right, I just asked. No, I don't listen to audio directly. Instead, I generate responses based on text-based training data, web search when enabled, and pattern recognition. Transcripts, summaries, and descriptions of macrodosing episodes, blog posts, and public content, like Barstool articles, Reddit threads, and YouTube comments. Oh, so if it's reading Reddit threads, it's gonna say that we're all pieces of shit and should kill ourselves. So while I don't, quote, listen to the podcast, I can accurately summarize its tone, structure, and host dynamics based on everything that's been said about it in text form. That's interesting.
That's impressive, man.
So it knew all that from never listening.
Yeah. It's basically like a summary of what everybody has said about it. Can you imagine this shit in 10 years, what it's going to be? Like this is going to be insane.
Yeah, I don't know that that's good.
Yeah, there's no telling what's about to happen, man. I think I recently saw wasn't there like a breakthrough in quantum computing somewhere?
We were talking about it on this podcast.
I was going to say, I remember hearing the words quantum computing at some point recently, which I feel like would have been here.
I feel like there was like a breakthrough or something, but it was like more recent than when we were talking about it. Yeah,
I searched quantum computing on Twitter, and everything on here is far too complex for me to understand. So.
Fire one off, though.
I mean, here's a graphic that. So the tweet says, digital quantum computers are finally starting to show some advantages for real physical simulations, not just contrived numerics problems. This quantum computer with 56, is this word pronounced qubits? Qubits?
Mm-hmm.
Simulated the dynamics of 2D magnetic lattices that are difficult to study classically. And then it's a graphic with shit that it says digitizing an icing quantum magnet. I can send it to you. It doesn't make a lick of sense.
It's out my wheelhouse, dog. It's out my wheelhouse. What the little I do know about quantum computing, it's like it processes things way faster than a regular computer, like way faster, like exponentially faster. So if you have AI able to process shit that fast, the possibilities get pretty fucking interesting.
I do remember seeing something recently about soon quantum computers could get any password you have for anything in
Yeah,
like 30 seconds.
that's what PFT said. But then, and I retorted with my philosophical and logical way of thinking with a if it has the capability of
That's
breaking any
right. That's
passcode,
right. Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
then we got to have some kind of safeguards. It could safeguard against it,
Yeah.
maybe, but who knows, man. All right. So next on your list is New York City to stop armed robberies with panic buttons. Yo, lace me with this story, man.
All right. So, there's a little bit of crime in New York City from time to time,
Mhm.
and it seems that instead of trying to maybe put the criminals away or up the police presence, whatever, the mayor Eric Adams announced that they're going to have 500 panic buttons in bodegas across the city, because that's where apparently there's been an uptick in robberies. And if you're getting robbed, all you do is you can hit your panic button, and it sends. He said something about it doesn't put you on with 911. It sends you straight to the police like command center. And then they can tap into the cameras in your store and
Oh,
and like see what's going on. All this to send cops there, I presume, if they're not busy, doing something else. So it's a glorified phone, I guess, and not everyone's gonna have them. He said there's gonna be 500. So yeah, it seems like a great use of time and money. So be on the lookout for the panic buttons coming soon.
isn't this like what conservatives warn us against, a surveillance state? This is what we don't want, right?
I don't know that it has to do with a surveillance state necessarily. I think it's just a stupid idea.
Agreed. But okay, so I think this is a bipartisan issue. Nobody really trusts the government, right? So if they
For the most part,
okay. Wait, so
I
you
think
do
there's a growing portion of the left that is very trusting and what's the word I'm looking for? Wishful that the government would be more involved in things. But I think a majority of Americans, that is the case.
okay, cool. Um, so we're gonna give them access to cameras at will and think that they're not gonna abuse this power?
Yeah, I mean that's potential. I mean I think the idea just is stupid from soup to nuts. I don't think any of it makes a lick of sense. Like, what are they going to do with the cameras in a bodega, though? I mean, that's obviously a slippery slope, but I'm just.
I mean,
They already have cameras like on every street corner.
yeah, I don't. I mean, what really fucked me up was when you said soup to nuts. I'd have heard that before, but I never really thought about it before.
The entirety of something.
Yeah, no, I know what it means, but I'm thinking about soup to nuts. Does soup go to nuts, or does nuts go to soup?
Derived from the description of a full course dinner.
Nuts are last?
I suppose so.
I mean, I'm having trouble comprehending this. This this. What is it? A metaphor? Analogy?
For centuries, any food served at the beginning or end of a meal stood for the entire thing, the start and finish, everything in between. This expression was from eggs to apples and also from pottage to cheese.
I've
In the
heard
United
pottage cheese.
Really? I've never heard that.
I've heard that one before.
In the United States, in the middle of the 20th century, the expression developed into soup to nuts. At many meals, soup is often the first course, and a dessert with nuts is sometimes the last.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, okay. That makes sense. Like soup to pie makes more sense. But I guess there could be like nuts in your pie and they just cut it. I don't know.
Soup to skillet cookie? That would be my personal favorite.
Mm-hmm.
What's the fancy shit is like people drink coffee after dinner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like a latte, some soup to latte.
Yeah.
Soup to bean. Soup to coffee bean.
From soup to sleep.
What about a different appetizer?
Yeah, stupid fucking idea altogether. So shout out to them because that's not gonna last much.
We'll get back to the show in a second, but Macrodosing is brought to you by Game Time. The NHL playoffs are here, and the only place to buy hard-to-get playoff tickets is Game Time, the official ticketing partner of Barstool Sports. With killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee, Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying NHL playoff tickets. Prices on the app actually go down the closer it gets to puck drop. You can save up to 60% when buying last-minute tickets. Blutman was telling me about the round 2 for the Knights. He was looking at going to Game 1. Oilers at Knights, that is tonight, Tuesday at 6:30. You can get tickets. I can get you in there. $81 on Game Time to Connor McDavid against the Golden Knights. What a great deal. What are you waiting for? I'm going to go buy those Golden Knights tickets now. Take the guesswork out of buying NHL playoff tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code MACRO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code MACRO for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. What time is it? Game time.
But speaking of NYC, Denzel got a new Apple TV show that's going to be set in NYC as a crime thriller.
What's it called?
Highest to Lowest. It arrives in theaters August 22nd and on Apple TV 2 weeks later, Friday, September 5th. And it's from Spike Lee. Is he on it?
Oh, so it's a movie.
I think so. Yeah, it's gonna be a movie.
All right. Apple TV's been on it recently.
They got some stuff, dog. I started. What is it called? What's that one where it deals with like future time type shit?
Ted Lasso.
No.
Severance.
That
It's
was
like
a joke.
quantum something or something.
A lot of
or
quantum
other.
coming up.
Mm-hmm.
Is it Shrinking? I've been hearing a lot about Shrinking
Shrinking's
on
about
Apple TV.
a comedy about therapy.
All right, so not that.
Quantum physics. That's what it is. Dark Matter. Boom.
Oh, I have heard really good things about that.
Yeah, I saw the first episode. No, first 2 episodes. It was really good, and then I got busy, and then I totally forgot I was watching it, and I need to run that back.
I binged The Studio this weekend. That's also on Apple TV. Hilarious.
Okay.
I think you'd like it.
Oh, totally pivoting because it's reminded me, dog. I formally apologize to anybody who has ever been bit by a wasp. I used to think people were soft.
No.
Cuz that is not a bee bite. That is not an ant sting. I felt like I got shot in my shoulder. So I'm minding my business. Something's wrong with my hot tub heater. I'm in there trying to tell my pool guy what this knob is doing, this boop. I see the wasp nest. I'm like, man, it's nothing. I take the video to my man's, and as I'm pressing send, I get bit by this wasp, and my God, I don't know that I felt a pain like this. I don't know that I felt a pain like this. It was, I thought I got bit by a snake. I thought I got bit by a tarantula, something poisonous. It was one of the worst feelings I've ever had, dog. Like I was literally like holding my shoulder, like, what the fuck? And like to this, it's a little sore still to this day. It was like 3-4 days ago. One of the worst pains I've ever felt. And I played in the National Football League and got banged up pretty bad. That shit, one of the most painful things I've ever felt. And y'all got stung by a wasp?
Not in a long time, but I don't fuck with bees, period.
I've been stung by bees before. It hurts, it stings. Yeah. This was different. This was
no kind bee, wasp, nothing.
I
Nothing with
feel
a stinger.
I feel you. And you know what? I wouldn't even make fun of a bee sting at this point because I felt like such a bitch because this shit was so fucking painful, dog. Oh my Lord. I didn't know. I mean, I have a newfound respect for wasps. And then I was like, I'm gonna kill this nigga. So I grabbed my my pool, the little pool scooper. I plotted on this cat, came back and he was still there because there was a little nest. So I got him, I trapped him in the little thing, and I was like, I'm gonna make him suffer because I was that mad at him. Put him in the water. I was gonna drown him, right? I wanted it to be as inhumane as possible. That's how much it hurt. I'm drowning him, and as I lift it back up, he starts to flutter his wings because he was down there for like a minute. I'm like, can this nigga swim? So I put him back in, and I Googled as I'm drowning him, how long can wasps stay underwater? And then Google told me it was like 3 days. It could stop its body and it could survive around 3 days. So I had to pull it out, trap it on the ground, and smash him. Like it was, I was determined. I probably
Did you
did too
get
much.
the nest?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Killed all the homies. Yeah.
You know what you can do with a wasp nest is you get a mason jar or a bigger bowl if it's too big, and you fill it with gasoline, and you hold it up there, and they something about the gas, they just fall down and die, and they fall into the gas.
Really?
There's a bunch of TikToks of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll try that, but never again. Never again. I will respect wasps to the fullest because that shit hurts. 1,000%, man.
Country Living is telling me that the recent viral TikTok trend is extremely dangerous and you should not do it. But I've seen a bunch of people do it. So
I mean, I'm not gonna fuck with them on purpose. Like if I see one, I'm gonna go walk the other way. Or I'm gonna try to kill it for sure. Like I'm not gonna be Zen or Buddha about this shit. Like you will die if you're a wasp around me. Like I don't care.
yeah, I
Um,
don't fuck with bees, wasps, none of that.
Not a fan, Chris. Not a fan at all. What's this hockey shit you got on here?
Oh, I know you're not the biggest hockey guy, but last night was Game 7 between the Winnipeg Jets and St. Louis Blues. The Jets scored to tie the game with 3 seconds left in regulation, and then they won in overtime, which is sudden death. Double overtime, actually. And it was like a sick ending, and I was just thinking, what is the best way to end a game in any sport? So, like, you could say hockey, Game 7, overtime winner at home. Obviously, for baseball, it would be like Freddie Freeman last year, walk-off grand slam in the World Series.
Oh wow.
Football, you have like obviously touchdown as time expires, I guess, or like maybe a 65-yard field goal or something.
I think that's the worst way, actually.
Really?
I hate when games are decided by field goals because kickers don't play football.
I know you've said that, but like if you hit like obviously a 28-yarder middle of the field, not that exciting. If you hit a 63-yard field goal down by a point at the end of a game, like that's sick.
I think that's just a shitty way to win or lose. That's just a personal preference. I understand what you're saying.
Like UT's field goal at the end of the game against Bama a few years ago that got tipped and like barely made it. Like that's incredible.
I think if your team wins, you enjoy that. But I just
Sure.
think I don't think kickers should be in the game at all. Actually, there should be no kicking. There should be no field goals. There should only be punters.
That's kicking though.
No, it's a punter. You're punting. Punting is different than kicking.
Sure, but they're kicking the ball,
No, they're punting it.
which is a kick.
All punts are kicks, but not all kicks are punts.
That is correct.
Okay, I'm okay with that.
They're
Yeah.
striking the ball with their foot.
If you're pinning me down, fuck it, take them out too. Yeah.
Okay. I just you'd have a lot to work out.
I don't think so. Hear me out. You get it on your 25. Game opens.
Oh
You get
yeah,
it.
you're also. I mean, this is going to happen soon anyway. But you're removing the kickoff, which I think would be a travesty. But
That shit is done anyway.
I know. I think it's disgusting.
Yeah, that's done anyway. That they're lined up right up against the defense. Oh, that shit is over with. And so my thing is, you get it on the 25. Game opens. You get it on your 25, and you have to get a first down. And if you don't, turnover or down. This is what it is. Because
Make
what
play callers more valuable.
100%, and it makes you value defense more. And what is the most thing like? What is the thing you like about football the most, Big T? I'll answer for you. It's football.
Oh, okay.
It's football. It's motherfuckers playing football, lining up, down, set, height. Who's better, right?
I appreciate all aspects of the game.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay, which aspect do you enjoy more? Kicking or third and six?
All right, I'll tell you this
Which
though.
is funner which is funner to watch?
Well, let me tell you this. If
All
you're
right.
telling me that there's 1 second left in the game, UT's at its own, or is at Bama's 30-yard line, and the game is tied, and they can either win it with a field goal or they have to try to score from 30 yards out, I enjoy the field goal.
I understand you're talking about like semantically from
That's not
wins.
semantics. Like that happens all
It,
the
it is.
time.
It is. Take your emotions of my team's gonna win out of it, right? Take the emotions of, hey, this is the number one and number two team in the country. Not your team didn't make it. You don't care who wins, but you're a fan of football and you want to see a good game, right? Would you not want to see more of those teams play? Like
I see what you're saying, but there has to be an option for late in the game, it's tied. Like there has to be a way for you get the ball, like Patrick Mahomes in the AFC Championship game 2 or 3 years ago when they got it with 14 seconds or whatever, and they went down and got a field goal. Like if that doesn't exist, you can't do that.
Yeah, it makes you score. It makes you score. It makes you score. Who is the better football team?
I'll tell you that you're going to make games much more low scoring because not only are you taking away the field goals, like you're making teams get an extra 30, 40 yards. Right. So games are going to be ending 12-6 or whatever because there's no extra points either.
I'm a football purist. I love defensive football. I think the rules, this is coming from an offensive player, I think the rules are skewed and bent to favor the offense. And I think it's bullshit. Defensive players have
because
no way.
More people watch higher scoring games. That's what they want.
I understand that, but I'm a football purist. Like, so I loved the game before your grandma was playing fantasy football. You know what I'm saying? Like, I loved football. And so I loved cold weather games where it was low scoring. You had to run the ball and play defense. I love that shit. I love the fact that you can't have these skinny ass wide receivers because they had to go across the middle because you got a big motherfucker almost ready to take them out. You know what I'm saying? That's what I loved. And that's what I like. And I understand people want to see 7-on-7. And that's what they want the league to turn into, and it's going to, but I just don't like it. It's not.
All right, tell me this. You say kickers don't play football, get rid of them. You say quarterbacks don't play football either.
I agree.
Are we getting rid of them?
No, we just hold them to account. You don't get special rules anymore. You don't get the red jerseys during games. You know what I'm saying?
I'm fine with that.
That's what I'm saying. If you play football now, if you choose to run, you are a runner. No more sliding. You know what I mean? You getting hit just like everybody else. It is what it is. So it'll make them think twice about running. And I think one of the rules that's probably good is maybe no diving at the legs while he has a plant leg. I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that rule because that could cause like for real serious damage. But other than that, if you running the ball, if you tuck that thing and you pass the line of scrimmage, it's fresh meat.
I don't even disagree with any of your points that like they don't play football. Obviously, it's a highly specialized skill set that you have one 130-pound white guy on the team to do. Mm-hmm. But like you'd be making a radical change to the game.
Yeah, I would argue for the better though. There's nothing more about football that I love than actually playing football. I mean, this is what I hate. The scenario that you described, right? The scenario that you described where I'm talking about the gladiators out there bleeding for 3.5 hours, sweating, scraping, bloody, giving a heart out, and then a dude that golfs during practice throughout the entire week and doesn't even have all his pads on. His helmet's too big, shoulder pads crooked. One of the least athletic cats on the team is deciding who wins the game. I hate that. I hate that, dog.
You could just as easily argue the game is won and lost getting to the 25-yard line to be able to attempt that.
But let's say you do everything correctly. You got a 25-yard chip in shot. He misses. What the fuck, man?
That's the way it goes.
I get that's the way it goes, and I'll ride how it is. That's how the game is played. I'm just arguing that the game should be decided by the men that are giving their bodies to it, not by the dude over there reading books while we grinding.
All right. Is there another way to score? Like, would you make there a way to score 3 points, or would it just be touchdowns?
Why do we need 3 points?
Because presently there's an option for, hey, you had a good drive, didn't quite get it into the end zone, but you have a chance to score here. Something get you closer. You're just getting rid of that entirely?
Yeah. Because when you score, the thing you line it up like you go for 2. You have to go for 2 every time. To me, that makes it far more interesting. And And it, like I said, it places more emphasis on defense, which I know is not attractive to the average football consumer. It's not that attractive. We don't want to watch a bunch of defense because it's boring. But that's the type of shit I love. The chess match between the OC and the DC. That's the kind of shit that I fall for. I love that shit.
I actually don't. I think more people than you realize like defense in football. I like defense in football for the simple fact that something good can still happen for your team. Because I think about this when I'm watching baseball all the time. I think people who don't like baseball are caught up in the fact that half the game, like, nothing really good can happen for your team. Like if the Braves are playing defense, the best possible scenario is they go back to the dugout at the same place they started the inning.
Okay.
Like if you're down 2-0, the best thing that happens in that half inning is you're still down 2-0.
Right.
In football, you're on defense. You can get a strip fumble, take it back for a touchdown, and like you have to watch every snap of the game.
Yeah.
Which I think about a lot as I'm watching baseball.
I guess the equivalent to that is like a no hitter, but that's not that inning.
Like, I certainly appreciate great pitching, but I think most people who aren't like really into baseball don't care about that.
Oh, speaking of which, some dude sent me a video of your man's.
Greg Maddux.
Yep.
He's the GOAT.
It sent me a video of him and Barry Bonds and their little chess match they had going on.
Yeah.
Hey, you was talking about two goats talking about that shit.
Mm-hmm.
It was that shit gave me the fifis.
Dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That shit was so fun to watch, to listen to Barry Bonds. Cause like growing up, I'm just like, damn, he could swing that bitch. That's all I knew about it, right? And I heard about Greg Maddux, just didn't know his genius. And then coming back, and the interesting part is listening to how he describes it now. He's so passionate about his craft and talking about how he would place it, where he wanted to place it, where he could place it, where he knew that he thought he could place it. And that's what Barry was like. He's like, I guess he didn't want it. I guess a high fastball to Barry Bonds that's yard, right?
Yeah, you should not leave the ball up.
Yeah.
Generally, as a pitcher, now, this is getting very literally inside baseball, there is a push for a lot of pitchers who throw hard to elevate fastballs because they're harder to catch up to. But generally, you don't want to leave the ball up for the most part, especially if it's a breaking pitch or a changeup. If you throw a changeup up in the zone, it's going to get crushed.
Okay. And it's just because the physics of that is it's easier to hit from.
Yeah, it's just more on plane with your swing. Yeah. And like, okay. Greg Maddux didn't throw very hard, so he would generally try to not throw the ball up in the zone very much.
So he's the GOAT and he didn't even have the strongest arm?
Oh yeah, he didn't throw very hard at all. Granted, in the 90s, there weren't guys throwing as hard as they do now, but Greg Maddux especially, I mean, he was pinpoint, like probably the most accurate pitcher that's ever lived.
Yeah. I'm all new to this. But watching that little snippet, it gave me like, I kind of wish I was into baseball a little earlier because that shit was special. Just watching them two go at it, talk about it. Like, yo, I had him. Yeah, I knew exactly what. And the relationship that they have with each other, as far as like batters versus pitchers, where I'm assuming, being an ex-professional, like I would watch film on the defense. I'm assuming they watch film on those pitchers, know their tendencies, know what they like to throw, know what they like to do in certain situations. Got a guy on second, got a guy on third. What does he like to do here? Alignment of all of that shit. That little chess match is fun to kind of like get into as a new fan of baseball.
And now that stuff is, to the nth degree. Like, they have data on stuff that you couldn't even imagine, and every day in like hitters meetings and stuff, they go over if it's 2-1 with a guy on base, this guy throws a fastball 64% of the time. If it's 2-1 with nobody on base, he throws it 51% of the time.
Yep.
Like, it's they have everything.
We had that similarly. So we would have, like, for instance, we'd have third down meetings, right? So on third downs, and it depends on the down and distance, right? Let's say it's 3rd and 5. If it's 3rd and 5 and we're on our 30, they have it percentage wise what this coordinator likes to run. He likes to blitz 33% of the time. And in 20% of the blitzes, he blitzes this. 50% of the blitzes, he blitzes this. So he has different blitz packages. And so like each down and distance has a different percentage of what that defensive coordinator likes to do. And that was always fun for me, kind of learning that. And that, like I said, like you said, it's similar in baseball. So that's the side that people don't get to. I mean, I guess you do, but like as a layman just watching baseball, you don't, none of that's calculating. I'm just sitting there getting faded, enjoying the ball game. But seeing behind the curtain it's really fun, man. It's been enjoyable, man. My baseball journey has been pretty fun, and I'm speed running it because I'm late to the game. But
the next thing we need to get you on is, I sent you a picture of this too from Friday. You said PFT asked me if I was partying on Friday night, and I said I've had a few beverages at Truist Park, but I'm mostly just tired because I was hitting the sleepy wall. And you said LMAO MF a 60-year-old. And I said, would a 60-year-old be scoring the game? And I sent you my scorecard that I'd been filling out during the game. That's what we got to get you on next.
Scoring the game?
Yeah, like filling out the scorecard with each what happens each at bat.
Oh, I don't know if I'm there, Big T.
So it keeps you so locked in.
What is the benefit other than just tell me what the benefit is? That what do you get out of it? I'm not even asking like sarcastically. Just actually, like what do you get from it?
I just enjoy it. It just makes me feel more in the game.
Okay. So who does that regularly? Like, is that like the score?
So pretty much anyone in the press box is doing that. There is an official scorer for the game who does that and makes the determination on, was this a hit or an error? That's most of his job, really. But you know, every announcer is keeping scoring the game. Teams have guys in the dugout who are doing that, as well as pitch charting, like marking down every pitch, what it was, and the count and everything.
Yeah, I'm of split mind right now because hearing you talk about this, and I'm like, that's fucking boring, and that's why I was never into baseball. But kind of knowing the other side now, and there's another side to baseball, I'm intrigued.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't going to necessarily give you any more insight, but I find it enjoyable, especially like I did at the Braves game. If I go to a Cubs game and the Cubs are playing the Padres or whoever, and like I don't care who wins, I'm just there to have a good time. I love breaking out the scorecard.
Okay.
And it keeps me locked in.
Okay. And I have yet to play that game that when we was at the Yankee Stadium, I went with y'all with the cards.
Cards, yeah. That was good.
That's a great game to play. Explain it for the listeners one time, because I think that y'all would enjoy this as listeners, because there was one of the funnest experiences I had at a ballpark. Do you remember how to play that game?
There was a group of guys behind us who brought a deck of cards, and they were like, "Hey,
Forster, Arian Forster is one of them kind of cats.
They were firefighters, New York firefighters.
A fucking firefighter.
That was supposed to be a New York accent.
I got it.
Oh, you sounded Australian.
No, I mean, I tried. Yeah, I tried. I'm saying that's what the cats was doing.
But they had cards, and they were like, "Hey, do y'all want to play with us? We do this thing where you get an ace through 9, 1 through 9, and everybody draws a card, and that's the spot in the lineup you have for both teams. So if you draw the 3, you have each team's 3-hitter, and then it's first home. Everybody puts in $20 or whatever, and it's who hits the first home run." And then after someone hits one, you can do it again. You can just do it for the rest of the game.
So fun. That shit.
I think it was ace through 10, and 10 was no home run.
Oh yeah, 10 was no home run. Yeah. That shit was fun as hell, dog. That was a really fun game to play. Matter of fact, when I go back up there in June, you down?
For sure.
You down? Breaking news. R.I.P. to Skype.
They're done.
They're done.
One of the biggest blown leads in the history of civilization.
It's they looking at Zoom like, hey, yo, that's supposed to be them.
I mean, true. Skype's been around. I don't know how long.
I think I first used them in 07, 08. That's
And
what I
like
first.
then the world, like God handed you just the greatest thing that could have ever happened to that business, and another company just came in and stole your lunch money.
Whoop.
Which I did use Zoom in college. I remember that was a thing in college, so it had been around as a used thing for a little while.
I mean, what happened? How did they drop this ball?
I don't know, but that puts the Warriors to shame. I'll tell you that.
Damn. Yeah, I mean, they were on the forefront, the precipice. They were that. I mean, for years you said, "Yo, I'm gonna Skype you." That was the verb used.
Were you using that like regularly?
Yeah, my baby mom was from Germany, and so that was the only way we could communicate. FaceTime
Yeah.
wasn't a thing yet, so it was that's the thing that we used to communicate. That, and then I got my mom's on it, so I was talking to my mom's, my dad. I had the whole fam on Skype. Yeah, that was I think that was 07, 08 when it first got popped off. Um,
Credit to
damn.
Zoom. I mean, what a comeback.
I mean, what did they do? If anybody knows, what did they do to kind of take the lead? They hawked them down.
I have no
Anybody
idea.
anybody know?
Let's ask ChatGPT.
That's our guy. What'd he say?
Why did Zoom become more popular than Skype? Ease of use, performance and reliability, focus and specialization, features for business and education, branding and market timing, and user experience at scale.
You know what else helped it? The pandemic. When that shit popped off, everybody was like, "Yo, let's use Zoom."
No, but
Especially
that's what I'm saying. That should have been Skype.
yeah, I don't know what made me use Zoom over Skype.
It says Zoom handles large group meetings more smoothly.
Mm.
I remember in college, you had to take 2 semesters of a language. And so as part of my Spanish class, once a week, we had to Zoom with someone that lived in like Guatemala or somewhere and like just talk to him in Spanish. And I was like, I hated it. It was so awkward. And you're just talking to this
Como
woman.
te llamas? I
Dude,
would
it was the
love
worst.
to watch you converse with a Guatemalan
It was
for 20
the
minutes.
worst. Oh, dude, it was like an hour. It was terrible.
What would y'all talk about?
They would just give you like a prompt, and she'd be like, "Okay, today we're talking about food." And you'd be like, "Okay, like mi comida favorita es whatever." And it was just like I'd rather be doing anything in the world than this.
What is their incentive? Like, how did they?
Well, they were getting paid by whatever company did that, I'm sure.
Okay, all right. So it's just
It was like an instructor, but they lived somewhere else.
I said, okay, today we're gonna talk to a bunch of gringos trying to learn Spanish.
Yes.
That is comedy, man. Holy shit.
Yeah, it was the worst. I hated it.
Oh man. Is there anything else on the docket? That's all you had today?
Well, back to my original question. What's the best way to end a sports game? Walk-off home run, especially in like the playoffs. Sick.
Yeah, I would probably say that. That's probably the most exciting.
I think the most exciting would be like the Stephon Diggs in Minneapolis, like scoring a touchdown as time expires. I think that's the most exciting.
I would think that happens more often than a walk-off, right?
Oh, no, not even close.
Really?
Walk-off home runs happen, I mean, all the time. But in the playoffs, I mean, there will be several per every year. Like those moments in football are few and far between.
Okay. I'll defer to you on this one because I don't know. I'm new to baseball, so I haven't seen one yet. So
I would guess there is an average of, so there's 8, 10, there's 11 series now in the playoffs. I would guess there is an average of 9 walk-off home runs in every year of the playoffs.
okay, there is no single average for the number of walk-off home runs per year in MLB history. The number varies significantly from season to season. For example, 2016, the Seattle Mariners had 5 walk-off home runs. The 1943 Yankees had 17 walk-off. But they could surely give an average, right?
I'd guess most teams have 4 or 5 a year.
Yeah. So I think it's the volume of games.
So like 150.
Yeah, so I guess like the last second touchdown is probably a little. But see again, like so, like do you mean like Hail Mary or?
No, it can be any touchdown as the time expires.
Yeah, that's probably more rare than a walk off. Yeah,
usually that's a Hail Mary.
Yeah. Yeah, either that or I like a buzzer beater too though.
Yeah.
How does that work in hockey? Like, because the puck is like always on the ice. Do they count it if it's out of the like if you slap it before the time runs out?
No, it has to cross the goal line completely.
Got you. So it's not.
So they have a camera directly above the net that can show. Like guys do score from time to time with like a tenth of a second left, but it has to be in the net. You can't have just shot it.
It doesn't seem as fun.
Yeah, it's just different with hockey because like if you, let's say you shoot it right before the buzzer and it goes off and it goes straight in. Okay, well there's an argument for that. But what if a guy barely tips it right in front of the net? Now that's a new shot. So like it's you just have to make it. It's got to go in.
Yeah, I think I said it before. I don't got enough bandwidth to learn hockey right now.
That's fair. We're sticking to baseball.
Yeah, my cup is full, man. I'm a happy guy, man. Golf game's getting better. Baseball season, and being a fan of baseball in this, because like right now is the NBA playoffs. So watching the play speaking of which, my Lakers lost.
Because they didn't play my guy,
and that could have been. I feel like we could have played them more, but let me finish my point, and we can get to the Lakers.
Mm-hmm.
After the NBA championship, there's just a dry spot that I always thought that there was in sporting events before football starts, and it was just baseball. And since I was never into baseball, I just was never into it. But now it's kind of giving me something to look forward to after basketball, so I can like really lock in. Feel me?
We need to figure out a way to get Barstool to pay for me and you to go to the All-Star game this year. Because that'd be fun.
Yeah, get us some press pass.
I just want to go, but we need to find a way to make that a content thing.
That would be fun as shit. Me and you like press passes and shit.
It's in Atlanta this year.
Oh.
Let's do that shit. Who do we ask, Maddie? Can you get the ball rolling on that?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We can ask.
That'd be fun.
Being in Atlanta would be so fun.
Austin? Huh?
Being in Atlanta would be so fun. Big T could take us to all of his spots.
Going to Waffle House. That's my spot.
Super secret place there.
Yeah, no, they got one right next to the ballpark. It's incredible. The old park had one in it.
That should be a thing.
It was in 2013 or 14. The Braves were on like a big skid, and they put the Waffle House in Turner Field, and they went on like a crazy 12 or 13 game winning streak, and it became the Waffle House streak. And then there's not one in the new park for some reason. I don't know why there isn't.
Huh. Waffle House that'd be crucial if you get that at games. Okay, so back to my Lakers. Now listen, I said when that Luka trade happened, I didn't like the trade, right? Why don't I like that trade? Again, I don't think Luka's style of play is conducive to winning basketball games. I put an asterisk next to that because I do think he's one of the best scorers that this game has seen. I think he's a great basketball player. I just don't think you could win like that. I don't think it was 100% his fault that we lost. But again, it's just very hard to win with that style of play. And I mean, I guess we're going to have him for the next, 10 years. And I hope I'm wrong, but I think this might be LeBron's last run. Maybe you get a year or two out of him where he was this efficient. At age 40, to see what he did this year was incredible. Like, it doesn't happen. So appreciate LeBron while he's here because he about to go. And we just going to have Luka. And again, I think he's going to put up 30 plus during the regular season. We're going to get 60, 70 wins seasons. And I think this is what's going to happen a lot. I think we're gonna make it to the playoffs and we're gonna fizzle out.
Will you denounce LeBron faking a knee injury after being eliminated?
How do we know it's fake?
I mean, he was perfectly fine out there until the series ended, and now he's limping.
I mean, sometimes it takes a little while for that swelling to actually take hold. I've had that before.
If they were in the second round right now, you think it'd be swollen?
I mean, I think there's doctors there that can flush some of that swelling out. You can get shots, Toradol, cortisone. All that
How
kind of
much
shit.
better can you make an injury with Toradol and shit? Like, how bad of a thing can you play through?
People don't believe me. I've said this on this podcast, bro. People don't believe me. I broke my collarbone 2010 game 3. People like every time y'all posted that clip, they're like, bullshit. I saw the comments. It is what it is, dog. I like to this day, if you just happen to be rubbing on my chest, Big T, you know what I mean? And then you just happen to
for sure.
and you just happen to go up a little bit where the collarbone is. Separate events, but you noticed, right? You're like, Arian, what is going on here? There's a dip. There's a little dip in my bone. It healed broke because, again, I said this on the podcast, but I wasn't under contract. I was under my rookie deal, and I didn't want to go into them showing them how I had a broken bone. I wanted they hold that against you during contract negotiations. So I was like, I ain't telling nobody, and so it healed broke, and so I just have a broke ass healed collarbone right now. But
you felt like okay playing with it with Toradol?
The first game that I played with it was very painful. Even that week during practice, to the coaches it looked like I was holding the ball high and tight, right? So I was like practicing good ball, but I just couldn't drop it and run. Like I was nervous if I could play that game. They shot me up in the shoulder and it loosened up and it felt good. But then afterwards, that pain was crazy. Like after that game, and I played well, I had like 170 yards. Unimportant though. When as the season went on, I just felt it less and less to the point it wasn't even an issue, but it was definitely fractured, however you want to call it. And Toradol, I mean, I took that shit before every game. I mean, I've played with torn meniscus. I played the entire 2010 season with torn meniscus. I've played with shoulders. What do they call it? Subluxation, where your shoulder slips out of your socket. Played with that. I've played with bruised ribs, bruised everything. I owe my entire career, my entire future to Toradol.
Tell me about this. I'm a little woke on the meniscus because every time I hear about a meniscus injury, they're like, it's like 2 to 6 weeks, but he could be back in 3 days. And then the guy's always fine. I think meniscus injury is just you could lose your meniscus and be fine.
There's two kinds. All right. There's two kinds of meniscus problems. There's when you tear it, there's two kinds of fixes. You can cut it out, in which you can be back in a week or two, right? But you risk long damage to it because the meniscus is basically the padding between the two bones. And so over time, that wear and tear and that bone on bone will eventually happen. That's happening to my left knee right now. I'm starting to feel the bone on bone because I had so many meniscus repairs, or not repairs. I had so many meniscus tears that they cut out, right? So they make a judgment call. If we cut it out, you can come back in a week, maybe 2. If we repair it, meaning they have to stitch it, you have to stay off it, and the recovery time is like a month and a half, because you can't have any impact on it. And so it depends on which tear it is. But it's extremely painful. Like it hurts, dog. You can play through it, but you don't have everything that you like. So for instance, like one of my meniscus tears, I couldn't straighten my leg all the way unless I like bent my knee a certain way. So like my leg was like in a locked position. And again, when you get a Toradol shot, you don't really feel that. So your body's pain sensation is basically warning you against movement that is gonna further injure you. So that's your body's way of saying, hey, we can't do that. Once you put the Toradol in, you don't really feel that. So you're just wearing that shit down. But when the Toradol wears off, you feel all the damage that you did throughout the entire game, and that shit is painful. And that's what it really is. Then your body sends all kinds of fluid and blood to heal. So that's what that then it becomes how can I get rid of the fluid? So I've spent the majority of my career with knee sleeves or like leg stockings to push all that fluid back into my body.
Are you gonna have to get like a knee replacement?
Maybe, man. I'm fucked up, Big T. Look at me, man. I'm fucked up.
I know.
My neck is fucked up. My shoulders are fucked up. My knees fucked up. My back's fucked up. But hey, at least my kids kids got a shot. That's what I did.
Now you're transitioning to golf.
Now I transition to golf, and now that's what makes me more mad. I finally found something that's like I love, and then every now and then my body says, nope, can't do that. And so I'm starting to have to like stretch and get massages and shit like that because it's painful on some of the parts of my body. Like my back is starting to have a little bit of issues, but I could lock that in with some core. But it's because I swing so hard, Big T.
I feel that. That's what fucked Tiger up.
Facts. I don't understand how you got so injured. To be honest, it's such a low impact thing. If you've never had any alternative issues, like ex-football players are always gonna have issues, like because we was getting in car wrecks. But like if you that's just what you did. That's a regular. I don't get that shit. I don't know.
Well, my understanding, and this could be totally wrong, is that he swung so hard that like his back is just crumpled from doing that so many times.
That could be. I don't know enough about it, but I don't know, man. If I was just a guy that didn't do football, oh my God. Like I don't even know. You probably feel amazing. Like when you wake up, you probably feel amazing, right?
I mean, relative to like if you wake up and your knees are shot.
Well,
I guess.
I can't remember the last time I woke up and didn't feel pain to the point of like that is my normal. So I don't really feel the pain that I should anymore. Like sitting down, like if I'm actually thinking about what hurts right now, oh my God, my neck is killing me right now. Back is killing me right now. My shoulders are fucked up. But I don't remember when I didn't feel that. Like I've been feeling like this since I was in college. Like
that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what a regular human feels like. My body's fucked up. So
that's what they pay you for, though.
Yeah. So now I get to suffer in leisure, I guess.
You got to retire pretty early too. That's good.
Yeah, but then that brings on a whole other list of complications.
Got to find a podcast to do. I guess.
Got to find a podcast to do. Got to find some golf to do, and then you gotta face yourself in the mirror, and that, Big T, is the hard part.
Who am I without football?
What am I without football? What am I without a little boy's dream fulfilled? It's a deep question. Shout out to ChatGPT and the philosopher Arian Foster.
Yeah, deep thinker.
Where's the philosophy store?
Oh, RIP.
Yeah.
Yeah, did we?
Yeah, we mentioned it. The Mike Patrick did pass away a couple weeks ago. The infamous philosophy store announcer.
Man.
Good announcer though.
Yeah.
Really good.
Top 10.
Yeah, I mean he did all the big college football games when I was a kid, so he was always.
Give me your top 5.
That's interesting. Okay, so I've always thought Chris Fowler does a great job. I'm not saying he's number one. I'm just listing guys that I really like. I enjoy Chris Fowler.
Now I gotta look. I don't even know who that is.
He's ESPN's main college football guy right now.
Okay.
Who's the Sean McDonough? I think Sean McDonough is fantastic. I enjoy Mike Tirico.
Okay.
I'm trying to think more NFL. I don't love. This is maybe heresy. I don't love a lot of the old NFL guys right now, like Al Michaels. I'm not a huge fan.
I can see that. I mean, I don't have a problem with it.
Does have one of the most iconic calls of all time. Respect, Miracle on Ice.
Okay.
It's incredible.
Yeah.
That might be the greatest call ever. Do you believe in miracles? Who else is doing the NFL right now?
You know who I've grown to love? Troy Aikman.
Okay, so you're doing analyst too. I was thinking just play-by-play guys.
Troy Aikman is a play-by-play guy.
He's an analyst.
All right, what's the difference?
Play-by-play guy is it's 3rd and 5. Mahomes drops back. Analyst, it comes in after the play and is like, see here, Tyreek Hill came off his flag route, and that's.
I've never differentiated them. Like,
they're completely different jobs.
So you telling me there's positions in the booth?
All right, Arian, let me.
That's crazy.
Let me ask you this. This is good. This is good. This is a teaching moment. Have you ever noticed that in every booth there is one like Hall of Fame player, and then there's a guy who went to like Northwestern journalism school? The guy who went to Northwestern, Syracuse, or Missouri went to college to be an announcer. He's the play-by-play guy. And then the football player is the analyst who breaks down what's going on.
You know what? I have never noticed this before.
That is so funny. I guess like when you were playing, you weren't. Yeah, you couldn't hear.
I mean, I've watched football my whole life. I never looked at it like there's a guy who does every play, and then you're right. There's a dude that chimes in afterwards. It's 3rd and 10, blah, blah, blah. Oh, blah, 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 first down, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, man, right here, though. They're going to line up. And okay. Yeah, I never have looked at it like, okay, they play in a position. I just thought like, oh, he's probably a little better at it, so he takes the lead.
No, yeah, they're completely separate jobs.
Wow.
Baseball, same thing.
Okay, so Pat.
Yeah.
Pat, forget his name. And John Madden, the dude with John Summerall. So John Madden wasn't a play-by-play guy.
Correct.
Oh, that kind of breaks my heart because I look at him in that vein. Wow.
Well, Pat Summerall also played football. So I believe Madden was the analyst though.
Had to be because he was a coach, right?
Yeah, I believe he was the analyst.
I'm surprised he's not in your top 5 though.
He wasn't around for me. Like, I never listened to him.
Oh, you don't know. He probably has one of the most iconic voices of all time.
Yeah, I know of him, but I never really listened to him. Yeah, he was an analyst.
Wow. Yeah, this is news to me.
I'd have to put together Joe Buck. People hated Joe Buck for a while, especially doing baseball. I think Joe Buck's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I love Joe Buck. Yeah,
I don't like Tony Romo.
Yeah, so because I was about to say Tony Romo's on the rise too.
He's always just like yelling about things.
Joe Buck has one of my favorite baseball calls ever. We'll see you later tonight during the 2004 ALCS when David Ortiz hit a walk-off at like after midnight, and his dad's famous call. Why am I blanking on Joe Buck's dad's name? Jack Buck was an announcer for the Cardinals, and his famous call was, "We'll see you tomorrow night." And he said, "We'll see you later tonight," because the walk-off happened after midnight, and then the Red Sox went on to win that series. That's an iconic call. I caught the very, very, very tail end of the Braves on TBS crew. So like Joe Simpson, Pete Van Wieren, Skip Carey. So I didn't get that's you should look up like Braves TBS broadcast crew. That was an iconic group.
Okay.
But yeah, I'd have to come up with a list for you. That's a good question. Okay. But I'm glad we taught you something new today.
Yeah, hey, I love learning new shit, man. Let's see. I would definitely do Marv Albert. This is my top 5. Marv Albert. Yeah, so I don't get John Madden?
No, you can do whoever you want. I was just, in my mind, the question you asked was play-by-play guys, but you can put whoever.
All right, we're just going to do announcers, though.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was positions.
Commentators.
I just asked who's your favorite quarterback all time, and yeah, I was giving you running backs. I got you. Okay.
No, they're
similar
both announcers.
Enough. Yeah.
They have different roles.
I got you. All right. I got Marv Albert. He had it's a sensational one. That's one of my goats right there.
That actually wasn't a bad Marv Albert.
It's not bad, right? He did that to me. I was so hyped when I watched the TV cast back. We were playing Tampa Bay, and I caught a little flat route with like 70 plus. And he said, Arian Foster with a sensational move. I said, ooh, that's a little kid's dream because he did the same shit with Michael Jordan when he did the switch of the hands. Iconic, if you don't know. But he said that when I was playing. It's amazing.
I didn't know he did the NFL.
Yeah.
I've always just known him for basketball.
Yeah. So I'll see if I can get the TV copy of that. Oh, we can't play it on the podcast. But yeah, Tampa Bay 2011. I had a sensational move. Shout out to Buddy. All right, so I got Marv Albert. Give me John Madden. Who's Buddy? He did college football. This is probably before your time, but it was he did that. Whoa, Nelly.
You are talking about. Hang on, he did the Vince Young Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
His name is. Oh, why can't I think of his name? Hang on, Google it and don't tell me what this is. You are looking live. That was his thing. What? Keith Jackson. Keith Jackson is his name.
Yes. Keith Jackson, Bo Nelly guy. Hell yeah. So I got Marv Albert, John Madden, Keith Jackson. I'm gonna go with Gus Johnson. Love Gus Johnson. Love Gus Johnson. Yeah. And number 5, even though he called me a prostitute, I'm gonna go with Dick Vitale.
Oh my God.
I mean, he made college basketball when I was growing up. Like,
yeah, iconic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that would be my top 5. Diaper Dandy.
As good as your Marv Albert was, that's a bad Dick Vitale.
I'm sorry, man. But fuck him though. But not really, but like fuck what he did. You know what I mean?
Arian Foster, he's a prostitute, baby. up and away.
That's funny, man. Oh shit. So yeah, I'm looking forward to your top 5, dogs.
Yeah, I just have to think about it more, especially like national guys versus local. Like,
no, whoever has a nice little house in your heart, man. That's all that matters.
Okay,
they're local.
All right, yeah.
Because there's a dude that I loved here in Houston, Mark Vanderjack. Is it Mark Vanderjack? I don't want to butcher his name because that's my guy. I always run into him throughout the city. Vandermeer. Shit, my bad. Sorry, Mark. Mark Vandermeer. That's my dude. He's like the voice of the Texans. Like a radio guy. And amazing.
I love the Falcons radio announcer, Wes Durham, who also, he does some national stuff now. He also used to be the Georgia Tech radio guy. He's very, very good.
Yeah. Local guys are like the beat writers and stuff like that. They're like the unsung heroes of sports. They shout out to them. They kind of they're like the lifeblood of that shit.
And then obviously you know who John Ward is, right?
John Ward.
A little before
better with faces.
A little before our time. He was UT's radio guy for like 40 years. And he retired in like 99, I think.
Who was there? Who's the guy? Voice of the Vols. What is his name? I'm hearing his voice.
So you're talking. So Bob Kessling has been the guy since John Ward.
Is it Kessling? Let's see.
And he actually just retired, like a few weeks ago. And now the new voice of the Vols is Mike Keith, who's been the Titans guy, who's very good, and was like an understudy of John Ward.
Okay.
And he took the Titans job. Mike Keith took the Titans job like a few weeks before John Ward retired, and he told UT, like, please don't ask me to take that job because I won't be able to say no, but I've already, like, committed to the Titans. And so he was the voice of the Titans for their whole franchise, and now he's coming back to UT. He's the man.
Yep, I remember this dude, Bob Kessling. He was always good to me.
Retired.
Hope you're doing well, Bob. Think he stays in Knoxville?
I would imagine so. He's a UT guy.
Yeah. Wonder if I'm gonna get back to a game this year. We'll see. All right, man. Anything else on the docket?
I've got some voicemails if you want to do them.
Yeah, run a couple.
All right, we're going to do voicemails, but first, voicemails are brought to you by Stella Blue. The weather's heating up, so stay cool with Stella Blue Cold Brew. Introducing our newest cold brew variety, Miss Peaches. 100% Colombian, 100% delicious. And the best part, every purchase helps homeless pets find their forever homes. Make better, fresher cold brew at home in just 3 easy steps. Steep, refrigerate, and enjoy. Grab Miss Peaches now at StellaBlueCoffee.com and use promo code MACRO for 20% off orders $25 or more. Sip with purpose all summer long.
Hey guys, take 2. All right, my name is James from New Jersey. Love the pod. Shout out Big T. Anyway, I had a sports writer on a Zoom with my sports and entertainment class, who after a few minutes scolded them and hung up on us. So I'm trying to make it up to them, the students, not the author. So here's my question. If you could go back and visit senior year of high school you, what one piece of advice would you give yourself? Thanks, guys, and keep up the great work. Stay beautiful. Oh, P.S. Arian is the only one with the correct answer to the gorilla question. Trying to hold down its arms would be like throwing a towel on top of a hurricane. I don't understand that part of the take. Or marshmallows at a speeding car at you. I'm team Arian here with this one. Peace out.
First of all, Mad Dog, I think I know.
I think I know too.
Who he was talking about that hung up on his class.
I do too. Because I saw a TikTok about it.
That was just an aside. Yeah. But
I didn't hear that part. I would say, what did he say?
He said he's a professor and he teaches like a sports journalism class, and he had an author like on a Zoom talking to the class who yelled at the class and hung up on them. And there is an author on TikTok who told a story of doing that recently.
Mm-hmm. In a sports journalism class.
I have to imagine.
It's the same guy.
I would presume. But anyway.
Right, well, tell me afterwards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First out, shout out for being rational, because 100 dudes is not being a gorilla. So secondly,
a lot of primate experts have said that the gorilla would get really tired and the 100 guys would overwhelm it, but it's neither here nor there.
You're right. Neither here nor there. What was he asking?
What one piece of advice would you give to yourself as a senior in high school?
Oh, one piece? Damn. I only get to tell me one thing. That's tough. I would say, little dude, you got the juice. Just trust yourself in all aspects. Across the board, trust your gut instinct. It has been right throughout your life. Trust yourself. That's what I would say. I have specific shit I would be like, don't fucking do this. But that piece of advice would lead to me not doing a lot of stupid shit.
Yeah. I think I've said this before as it relates specifically to college, but just take every opportunity that you're able to. Even if it's something that you're like, I don't know that that's going to help me a lot, or I don't want to do that, just do it, because it will probably help you in some form or fashion. And I wish I did more stuff in college in terms of like job opportunities, things like that will help you in the future.
Solid. Mad Dog? Mac?
So, like, I feel like similar to Big T, like, take advantage of everything. And then I went into college, I've talked about this, as a finance major. Obviously, I'm not doing finance now. So I think be honest with yourself about what you really want in life as much as you know at 18 years old. And, like, stay focused on that, not what you think you should go into based on, like, societal pressures.
To thine own self be true.
So true.
I don't know, actually. That's a good question. Like, I feel like I learned...
I didn't know anything at 18.
No, and I learned, like my college experience, like, I learned more about, like, life than I learned in, like, class and stuff. But I feel like... I don't know, honestly. Don't, like, try to be... Like, be normal, but don't try to be too normal where you're, like, changing yourself that you're trying to fit in.
Mm-hmm.
Like, kind of just be yourself, and everything else will line up from there.
So trust yourself and be yourself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Period.
Madeline, did he say he was a high school teacher?
No, I think he said college.
Can you play it again?
I thought he said high
it's
school.
Oh, I thought he
You're
said
trying to get down to the.
Well,
But this pertains to who could be.
well, because I found the TikTok I was talking.
Was it college?
Hey guys, take two. All right, my name is James from New Jersey. Love the pod. Shout out Big T. Anyway, I had a sports writer on a Zoom with my sports and entertainment class, who after a few minutes scolded them and hung up on us. So
I don't think it says college.
So he
or high
doesn't
school.
say. He doesn't say.
I'm assuming sports journalism is college.
I'd assume a
But
sports and entertainment
writer,
class.
I mean,
school?
we had classes
Yeah,
like that.
there could be.
But there,
I feel
'cause
like that
the,
can only happen to.
yeah, the author that I think it was specified that it was high school.
Okay.
But
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I feel like it has to be that person.
has to be.
Yeah.
Because this happened recently. It has to be.
That's funny.
Interesting.
Anyway.
Okay, next voicemail.
Hey, Macrodosing, this is Bo from Orange Beach, Alabama. I'm just looking for some ways to get back at a coworker. I recently went on a horrible trip to Atlantic City where he was on the phone with his girlfriend the whole time, and I went and sat at the sports book and got drunk every night. And on our flight back, on the layover in Charlotte, we landed and I was in row 32 and he was in row 9, and he got off the plane and ran to the next flight, and we had like a 10-minute layover, and he got on that plane and I missed that flight, and the dude just left me stranded in the airport with nothing. So I'm looking for ways to get back at him because I told him I was going to beat the hell out of him on site next time I saw him, but I'm the size of Big T and he's smaller than PFT, so I don't know if that's going to be the best.
Sounds like a
But
great fight
I'm
to
looking
win.
for little ways to kind of get back at him since we share an office and just something to kind of make his life hell for a while. Appreciate it. Love the show.
Okay, first off, Arian, I want you to answer his question, but I think a more interesting question out of that scenario is if you're with a coworker and you are able to get on your connecting flight and the other guy isn't going to make it, are you supposed to wait and miss the plane?
Yeah, I'm kind of on the other guy's side. Depending, like, if it was like, I mean, our job is so different with coworkers because, like, most of us are friends. So if it was like Madeline or somebody, like, I'd wait together and then we'd figure it out. But, like, if it's just a random coworker, like, and also that guy's not going to be able to get there and then be like, hey, can you hold the plane for this one guy who's late? Like, that's not how it works.
I think the implication was that he should have not gotten on the plane
Yes,
and waited.
yes, but I don't think so. Unless you're, like, already friends with the person. Like, if it's a random coworker, like,
I mean, it sounded like
Alright.
you had a good relationship with him, right?
Maybe.
No.
Also,
I
having
don't know.
been to Atlantic City, every trip to Atlantic City is a bad trip to
Right.
Atlantic City. One of the worst places I've ever been.
Okay.
side note.
I don't know. I'm with this dude actually. I think you wait.
Really?
It's the airline's fault. One, two. It's the airline's fault that they had that layover problem. But two, it is kind of your fault because you supposed to alert the stewardesses and say,
Right.
"Yo, I got a connecting flight in 10 minutes. Can I get up?" Usually they make an announcement, "Hey, we have some people connecting flight that's tight. Please stay in your seat and let them get up." Like that, I've seen that happen. I don't know how many times on a plane.
Yeah.
So that should have been your first course of action, and y'all both should have been able to ran and got on. So that's your fault. But I mean, unless it was a dire situation where Buddy needed to get home, I'd have waited for my dog.
Now, I will say this. When he said coworker, my mind went to like a work trip. Going to Atlantic City sounds like they were maybe just going as like friends. If you're going with a friend and you leave him, you're an asshole.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
If you're on a work trip and it's now or never, you got to get on the next plane. The other guy's not going to make it. I'm getting on the plane for sure.
I don't know. I still think like you're an asshole.
Would you agree it's definitely not as much as if you did that to your friends?
It's different. I think it's more forgivable that your friend, honestly, because then it's like,
Oh, no.
I fucked with you, type shit.
Yeah, but like...
But like,
then
look, if it's a coworker trip, we was together. Like we did whatever we did it together. I'm the type of cat where it's like, I'm leaving here who I came with. Like, and so I would feel bad. I'm like, yeah, but I kind of gotta, unless I communicated like, dog, I have to get to this flight. My daughter got this, or, and there was a dire situation. I'm getting back home too. If it was just like a 2 hour wait, I'll wait with you. It's not that crucial to me.
I
Everybody's
mean, if I
circumstances is
was
different.
if I had to wait 6 hours for a plane and I was with my friends, fine, whatever, we missed it. I would never get on a connecting flight anyway, but that's a separate conversation. If I had to wait 6 hours with a coworker, that's completely different.
I don't know. But see, but then I'm just looking. Okay, so I'm stranger. Okay. Say we strangers, but we're coworkers. Same situation happens. I'm the guy that can get to the next flight, right? You get off and I'm like, I could have made the flight, but I didn't want to leave you by yourself, dog. What do you feel when I make that statement to you?
I would think that's a very nice thing to do, but
That's
I would
what-
also be like, if we don't know each other, we don't talk or anything, I'd be like, you could have just gotten on the plane like that. I would rather just not.
I would have rather than get on
now,
the plane.
right? Because now you're trapped. You can't put your headphones on. Because now you've got to go to the bar together. You've got to hang out the next 6 hours. Because you can't just make him sit there, like basically by himself, like because he got off for you.
I mean, you don't have to tell each other's secrets to each other, but like
Sure,
maybe have
but
some
if-
small talk at the bar, and now you maybe gain a possible friend, and more importantly, you gain an ally at the workplace. Because now you looking at me, Big T, like if some shit going down, if whatever happens, right? You looking at me like say some murmurs happen, and then like, yo, Arian did this with you, and you like, that's a solid dude, man. Like I'm gonna stand up for that guy
Sure.
somehow, some way. That's to me, because it is. I don't think it's the wrong thing to do, but I think it's the right thing to do. I mean, like if you went, I don't think it would necessarily be wrong, but to me, leaving somebody stranded that I went with, I just couldn't. It don't sit right with me. Like I said, it's not wrong, but it just feels more right to be like, I'm rocking with you. Like, let's just, hey, you missed it, I missed it. It's all good. Let's just go grab a drink or whatever the case may be. But like I said, now you looking at me like that. Nah, that's a solid cat. Like, we don't have to be friends, but like you're always gonna look at me with this little bit of, nah, you did something you didn't have to do, and you don't even know me, and you don't even fuck with me. So like, I fuck with you. That's how I would look at it.
Also, you have to put yourself in that guy's shoes. If the difference in getting on the plane and not was the difference in row 9 and 30, that's a difference of what, 3-4 minutes? So
no, brother. What plane are you deplaning? 9 and 30? That's a good 20 minutes.
I get off first. I've forgotten how long it takes for the rest of
Talk
the plane.
shit.
But I mean, how long? 5 minutes?
No, it's probably like 20 minutes. 9 and 30?
Oh, no chance.
I'd say like 10.
No
10.
chance.
That's a good 20 minutes. Okay, 20 minutes. I'll give you 20.
No.
9 and 30,
Anyway,
dog.
anyway.
It's hey, my bag is back there. Can you grab that for me? It's oh, I forgot this. It's no, hell no.
I would say a max of 30 seconds per row,
What?
which would be 10 minutes.
No. Hell no. I'm giving 20.
Okay, anyway, but I said that to say that if the difference is that small and he's running to get to the plane, he gets there, they're like, we're about to take off, you just made it. He's not looking back like, oh, is my boy? You can't say, oh, actually, I don't want to get on the plane now. Sorry,
Yeah.
unscan my boarding pass.
Also agree, yeah.
I don't know, because then I'm like, okay, hey, I would ask. Would you ask? I'd be like, yo, my man was on a flight with me. I ran over here. We just landed. Can y'all hold the plane?
Yeah, sure. That would be a good
And
thing to do.
But that's
they're
another
not. I mean,
thing. They said no,
yeah,
which
dude,
makes
planes
makes me
leave
think
whether you're on them or not. They sell too many tickets. They need some people to not be on it.
I don't know though, because now that I'm thinking about it, it makes me feel like the guy that landed didn't even tell them that the dude was on it. Because like more often than not, they're gonna be like, okay, if you're in the airport and you're checked in, they're not gonna hold the flight, but they'll especially if it's a connecting flight, they'll wait for you, dog. It makes me feel like he didn't say he was on the same flight as me, and he was just a little couple rows back. He's on his way. I feel like they would have held that plane.
Maybe. I don't know. It depends what airline.
Dude, what's the dude's name they called? Buddy from Alabama.
Something from Alabama, I don't know.
Yeah. Hey, my man, if you listen to this, call back. and let me know if your man's tried to hold the plane for you.
Yeah, I need more details.
I do need more, like, fill in some of these details that we kind of dancing around, because there's some sketchy shit going on. But all in all, he's not wrong, but he ain't right.
So back to his original question of things to get back at this guy who he now, you said you could have made a friend. Now he made an enemy.
That's what I'm saying, my brother. And depending on how close we are, I feel like they're close because he said I want to beat him up. Like, you ain't gonna do that to a stranger, right?
I don't know.
Some people are different.
My man, well, let's just address that. If you're thinking about beating up a coworker that's a stranger, let's not do that, my guy. Let's keep it cordial. But if it's the homie, that's real fucked up that he left you. And I don't know. Icy hot in the shoes is fun. At the workplace, that would be comedy. Hide his phone for a few hours.
Maybe
I don't
just
know.
be the bigger person.
Oh, Mac don't like that.
Well, I just feel like it's like not that big a deal. Like, I think he's taking it more personally than it was ever intended. Like, I don't think it would have ever been intended to be like, oh, I'm leaving him. Like, it was just like circumstantial. Like, I got there first, so I'm getting on the plane.
Which makes me think it's his boy.
I don't know. We need more details.
Definitely.
Didn't sound like it, but I have no idea.
Call back with details.
Yeah, let us know.
All right, we've got one more voicemail. I think it's my favorite voicemail we've had in a very long time, so stay tuned for that. This last voicemail is brought to you by Steven Singer Jewelers. Mother's Day is Sunday. How often do you call your mom? Every day or just on special occasions or once in a blue moon? Steven Singer Jewelers wants to help all the moms in your life every single day know how appreciated they are with his brand new limited edition Blue Moon 24-karat gold-dipped rose for Mother's Day. Picture it, a brilliantly bright blue rose with diamond-like sparkles. Skip flowers from the supermarket that die in a week. Steven Singer Jewelers' signature gold-dipped American Beauty roses are real long-stemmed roses dipped in real 24-karat gold and are guaranteed for life. They arrive in an impressive gift box with your own personalized Mother's Day card. It's an awesome gift. We don't have the blue one, but we have the original one right here. They're fantastic. They look amazing. Go right now to IHateStevenSinger.com. Don't miss out on free shipping to arrive on time. Hurry, this may be your last chance to get Steven's brand new Blue Moon gold-dipped rose. They will not be restocked. Nothing says I love you like a real, authentic Steven Singer 24-karat gold-dipped rose that lasts forever. Only available at Steven Singer Jewelers. That's IHateStevenSinger.com.
Hey, what's up, Macrodosing? This is Neil over in South Carolina. I was calling because I'm in a little bit of a dilemma. I moved in July over to South Carolina from New Jersey, and moved in. Everything's great until the first week of February when my roommate told me that him and his girlfriend are pregnant. His girlfriend moved in December, and that was just an extra person to split the rent with, so I was like, no problem. Sounds good. And so fast forward, the baby is due in the first week of April. The baby was actually born a day after my birthday, which I thought was pretty cool. But now I'm living with 3 other people, one of them being a week-old child. And I don't know how I feel about it. So if I could just get your guys' opinions on how you handle the situation and how you would approach maybe breaking up that lease. Because I'm locked in until the end of July. So if I can just get your opinions, I'd appreciate it. All right, peace out.
All right. This is one of the best voicemails we've gotten in a long time because I feel strongly about it in several ways.
Run it down for me because it was in and that was cutting out for me. Give me the basic.
This guy moved from New Jersey to South Carolina. He's living with a roommate. I don't know if it's a coworker, friend, whatever. His roommate says, my girlfriend is pregnant and she's moving in. He says, okay. They're still living there with the baby. So he's now living with a couple and their baby. All right. So everyone is so wrong in this situation. Okay. The first person who is wrong, unfortunately, is you.
Well, did he move in knowing she was pregnant?
No.
Or She moved in.
The guy and the two guys were living together, and then the second guy was like, by the way, my girl is pregnant. She's gonna move in now.
And he allowed her to move in because he said to save $300 a month.
I thought the girlfriend was already living there, and then she got pregnant. So
no,
completely different.
She moved in pregnant, having already occurred, having been burdened with pregnancy. Yeah. You can't allow that to happen.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That can't happen. That's got to.
What can't happen?
Allowing your roommate's girlfriend to move in with you, period, really, but especially if she's pregnant. I mean, that's a nightmare.
All right, okay. Walk me through logically of telling a dude no.
I mean, that's if ever there's a situation to put your foot down, it's we signed a lease to live here as two people, and you're telling me your pregnant girlfriend's moving in. That's a non-starter. You gotta. I understand with roommates, you got to pick and choose your battles. That's one to pick. Do you disagree?
This is kind of like the plain situation. You're not wrong, but I'm putting myself in his shoes. Like, this is my first child. I gotta be around. But then you are inconveniencing your roommate. You're not wrong when you say everybody's wrong, but what do you do if you're the guy?
The guy who's having the kid?
Yeah, new baby guy.
You have to go find somewhere to live with your apparently not wife and child.
Oh, Jesus. So you have to break your lease, which is going to cost what, a month's rent?
Yes. These are the consequences of the decisions you've made.
Yeah,
yes.
but now do you Big T feel good about making a expectant couple that has a new baby with new expenses, diapers, all of this shit?
I feel better about it than living with that baby.
But you don't feel bad about, now putting that expense on that couple where that could be used to help them rear a child?
That's the way the cookie crumbles, brother. You chose to have a baby. That's not my problem. Do you disagree?
Can't do that.
You're gonna live with a pregnant woman you don't know and then a baby that's not yours?
Mad inconvenienced. But I'm looking at it like, okay, can I survive this tragedy?
I don't know.
I think I could survive it. I grew up in the projects. I grew up with a bunch of people in my fucking house. I'll be okay. This is just me. I'm just doing me. I just don't think I have the heart to say, dog, you got to fork up $2,500. And I mean, if they living together in an apartment, I'm sure money's tight. So I don't have the heart to be like, yo, you got to put up $2,000.
I can appreciate that it's a difficult thing to do, but is it as difficult as living with a stranger's baby? I would posit it is not.
Damn. I mean, it's kind of our worldview here in magnification. When babies come, I want to provide a safe place for them. And you're on your own, buddy.
No, listen, this is not an issue of the baby having a safe place to exist. This is an issue of it being in my house.
That's, again, I look back to what would Jesus do?
I can't accept the fact that my belief in Christ necessitates me living with a stranger's baby. I don't accept that.
Do you think that...
I don't accept that.
Literally, there's wristbands printed, billions of them across the world, that say WWJD on them.
I've seen them.
I don't believe this dude was divine. Maybe he existed, some kind of form of him. Cool. I think his imagery... I doubt he would tell this couple and be like, nah, you can't live here, dog. I'm sorry. This is not what I signed up for.
I think you're probably right.
But this is what I'm saying. I think that you are correct, and this would be mad inconveniencing. Like, I'm a single man. Now I got to put up with a screaming ass baby and a woman that I didn't sign up for. I'm sure she's lovely, but that's not my problem. I get where you're coming from. I'm just like, all right, I got to do this for 6 months. If I could do this for 6 months, I help a family out. I think I'd be all right.
I don't disagree that that's not a noble thing to do. However, additionally, It's not 6 months. The baby's been born. She moved in when she was pregnant, so who knows? It could have been a year and a half. Like, who knows
Could
how
have been
long
like
it's
a
been.
year and a half. You're not wrong. I just don't think I'd have the heart to be like, yo, you gotta move, dog. I can't do that. I can't do that. Yeah, like I said, but you're not wrong.
Or
he
could move.
Yeah,
he could move.
that's what I was gonna say.
Somebody's got to move. But like, maybe you go to the apartment building and say, listen, like, I don't want to like put this guy out, but he's put this situation on me. Can I get out of my lease without, any penalty or something?
I would definitely search for those options. I would search for those options too. If they say no, what I would probably do is I have a conversation. I was like, dog, can we just talk about some ground rules and some boundaries, stuff like that? I don't know. Maybe you take a little bit more of the rent now. That's a fair option. I don't know.
Like, you have children. You understand the life that someone with a baby leads. Now imagine you get home and all of the burdens of not burdens. It's every child is a gift, but the things that children add to your life are in your life, and it's not your baby.
Brother, you're not wrong.
And it's not even like a friend's baby. It's your random roommate's baby.
I do not think that you're incorrect. I don't know how much I can emphasize this.
I understand.
I'm just saying, I don't think I have the heart to be like, nah, dog, not here. Not this baby. Not me. I would be like, all right, I would exacerbate all my options. And if my only option was kicking them out and they had to pay an extra month's rent or however, like, because sometimes them lease agreements be egregious, dog. They are crazy about that shit. I just don't think I had the heart to do that. I would just be like,
I'll tell you
if I'm
this.
single area, I got me a few things. And I'm saying, hey, this is the situation. I got my own place, but my roommate put me in this position. Every now and then, if it gets a little crazy, can I come kick it at the crib? And I'm sure she'll let me every now and then.
I'll tell you this. If it came down to like, that guy has to leave and he has to pay a penalty or whatever, I would even consider paying that or helping or something. But the situation you are in of living with this guy's girlfriend and baby is seemingly, again, from what I heard, because he allowed that to happen.
A lot of different variables. You're right. If I got the extra cash to help him and it doesn't hurt me, I would help him move out of his lease. Yeah, like I said, a lot of different variables. At the end of the day, I mean, and then maybe this is me and my 5 babies. I kind of like babies. Got 5 of them. I enjoy that part. I enjoy being an uncle even more because it's like you get to play with them. They start crying and shit. Here you go. Not my responsibility anymore. I'm not going to change you. You know what I'm saying? None of the hard stuff, but like I like playing with, like, kids are fun to play with, dog. Like, they're great imaginations, whatever the case may be. Crying, not crying. They're a joy to be around. Like I said, you're not wrong. You're not wrong in my opinion. It's just I don't got the heart.
This is a fascinating scenario.
It's wild. It's wild. I mean, I'm sure they didn't do it on purpose.
It's a good voicemail. We need more voicemails like that. That's the best voicemail we've had in a long time.
I did not think that was going to strike a chord with you as much as it did.
I mean, I feel sorry for everyone involved. It sounds like nobody's in a great situation,
Yeah, no.
But I mean, it's fascinating.
Most definitely.
Yeah, that's a tough pickle.
Tough pickle. Good luck with that. Keep us updated on what happens.
Yeah.
I would love to know more. Yeah, please.
I would like that. Keep us updated on that. I think that's good. Are we good on voicemails, man? Good episode, ladies, fella. Next pod, we are going to discuss Marxism, Big T's favorite thing.
I'll let y'all guess whose idea that was.
And it was definitely my idea. Just to get a breakdown of what it is, because I believe that 99% of the Republicans that say this is Marxist have never read a single Marxist piece of literature. Positive about that. Other than the
pretty racist.
No, I don't even think they've read the main one. I don't even think they have. And we're having a guest on who is, I don't know if I would call him a Marxist, but he has, hundreds of thousands of subscribers on YouTube, and goes over the Marxist literature, Marxist Leninism, communism. Fascinating dude, very well read, and I'm excited to chop it up with him. And PFT will be back for the Wednesday episode. So until then, read your Bibles, go to Bible study, and try to walk in the light of the Lord. And
Agreed.
if you happen to have a roommate that has a baby, what would Jesus do? Love you guys. Take care.